Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Ashley.
And I'm Tasha.
And this is Her Real Perspective, where culture meets cinema.
Each week we're going to be reviewing TV shows, movies, etc. and discussing them from a Black woman's perspective.
Yeah, so this week we're talking about episode 4.
Of Paradise.
Paradise. Awesome. Yeah. We're going to start doing a different format for our reviews. We'll chat about the 3 things that were prevalent to us. That stood out to us.
Yeah.
And what worked, what didn't work, and give the episode a rating.
Yeah.
This week the episode is called Agent Billy Pace.
Yes.
And so looks like we're going to be diving into his background and seeing what's going on with him, because in the last episode we heard that
he was not to be trusted.
Yeah, he wasn't to be trusted, and he looked real sus on that last scene.
I know.
With a gun
outside of their house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
a gun on his seat.
Yeah, on his seat. And I remember they said there aren't any weapons down here, so how do you have a gun?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, even
that's crazy.
Even Collins doesn't have a gun. He said this is like a glorified, I don't know.
Oh yeah, it was maybe a taser or something.
Yeah,
like that.
So
yeah,
what's up with that? So we're in this episode, we go back to see Billy's childhood, how he grew up, and a little bit about his history, similar to how they did for Sinatra and the Agent of Social Media. I don't know. So the Agent of Social Well-Being.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Social media.
Yeah, I was going to say
Not
social
quite.
Justice. Whatever.
Definitely not that.
Yeah. So we see that Billy's gone through a lot. He had a horrible childhood, growing up with his uncle and abuse and all the things. So he went to jail for murdering his uncle, which I thought was going to happen. The uncle wanted him to kill his own dog, and I'm like, I don't think he's going to do it.
Yeah, I'm looking what kind of depraved human being is this man? Yeah, because initially he was they were hunting, and so he was supposed to shoot the deer, but the deer got scared off because the dog started barking, and he was so upset. Yeah, because maybe I don't hunt, right? You know, but maybe it takes a long time for the deer to come around or something. I don't know. That was the only thing that I could think of that would make someone that angry. Maybe we've been out here for hours and hours and we had the deer and you let him go. Right. I don't know. But then he's like, that dog's worthless. Put him down or whatever.
Yeah. I'm like, oh boy.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So very traumatic. And so Billy's like, well, I'd rather put you down. Yeah. So he got rid of him and he went to jail, and he's beating the people up in jail and stuff to survive.
Most.
Yeah. It wasn't just let me just get you off of me.
Right.
He really went in
and
stuff. So then he gets recruited as a mercenary and things. So you see that he's got this very violent background. He looks very angry, and he's really kind of scary is what they were trying to portray. Yeah. And so then jump to current, he's completely different. And what stood out to me in that was his ability. Well, despite going through all that, he had this opportunity to basically reinvent himself and become a new person in this paradise city. So I don't know how, I won't say I don't know how, because you kind of see why he got pulled in, why they saved him. Right. But he had this great opportunity, and so you see the transformation or whatever in this episode, which was really, really nice, and how other people would like to have that opportunity, you know, to reinvent themselves and basically forget everything. Not forget, but nobody else knows the history, right? Except the people who brought him here, you know? So,
right. Yeah. I think also. So the thing that stood out to me was as soon as I saw the scene with the dog, the thing that stood out to me was either Billy is crazy because of how he was brought up, right? Or he is overly protective. Thinking back to him being in the car with a gun, it looks menacing. Yeah, he's about to do something to his, not his family, but he calls Xavier and the kids, like, that's my family. I didn't have family up in the old world, I think is what he referred to it as. And so when I saw the scene with the dog, I was like, okay, he's either plumb crazy, like, what's her name? Gabriella said, like, he is dangerous, like, be careful of him. Or he is extremely protective because this was his upbringing. It was terrible. And he and Xavier have a really great relationship. He has a great relationship with the kids as well. So I was like, okay, this is going to tell us this episode is going to tell us one way or the other what he actually is right now. Either, he's crazy because this is how he was brought up. Or, like, he had a really rough beginning and now he knows what it feels like to have family, and so he's super protective of them.
That was that's another thing that stood out to me, is that because he didn't have the family, he there was nobody protecting him ever. I mean, at least they didn't show it at all. Like, he had no one throughout his entire life, it appears. And so he finally got that with Xavier. Well, they call him Xavier. I keep wanting to say Xavier, but Xavier.
They call him Xavier too.
I
actually don't like when people say Xavier and it's Xavier. I mean, some people name their kid Xavier, and they intend for them to be Xavier. This is a hilarious, like, side conversation. But, like, the fact that they keep calling him Xavier is irritating to me. Because I think it's Xavier.
I think it's Xavier too. And they keep saying Xavier, but then he will also refer to him as X. So it's like, it's Xavier.
It's Xavier.
Xavier. So, okay.
I don't know. But my husband calls him Zay when he's talking about him. He's like, oh yeah, Zay did blah blah blah, and I'm like, you gave him
I'm like, wait, who is he talking about?
Xavier. I'm like, you gave him a nickname? That's like, that's really hilarious. Cute. And he's like, no, they call him that in this. And I'm like, no, I've never heard no, they don't. They don't. I've never heard that, ever. I really think you like Sterling K. Brown a lot. You think you guys are buddies. I don't know. But
but you see that he's been basically starved for affection and that type of connection and connectedness with a family. And so I think it's so cute. Like, how
it's adorable.
Came into the family and stuff when he first met the kids, and he, like, got down on his knees and stuff.
He was in that freaking,
what the heck are you
plaid
doing?
Suit jacket, and he had, like, his hair was parted. I'm like,
he said, you look ridiculous.
What are you doing? But he's like, I don't know how to show up in this kind of situation. I've never had people be nice to me. And, like, even when they were, like, at the bar, and he's like, like, it's been 3 months and I'm having a drink at the bar with a friend or whatever, and he's like, you said we're best friends. Like, he's never had that. And so I thought it was super cute that he showed up with his little suit because he wanted to make a good impression on the kids. I don't know.
It was really cute. So that was my second one, about his need for family.
Okay, something that stood out to me in a bad way, like and maybe this is like a what didn't work kind of thing, but it's like, why are these Secret Service agents, right? They're like essentially Secret Service. Why are they having a meeting at a carnival outside in the corner somewhere? And you could, like, Sinatra was, like, yelling. It looked like she was yelling. So presumably this is a loud conversation that's happening. I'm just like, you guys are Secret Service agents. How are you having this, whatever conversation it is, because we don't know what they're talking about. We don't know what they're talking about. But we see them, and they're just, like, in the cut, talking to each other, yelling at each other, whatever the fuck. I'm like, that seems weird.
Agreed. And and along those, so when basically, Xavier, okay, now I'm thinking, like, did I say it right? Xavier is, like, trying to reach out to Billy to get in contact with him because he got this message from the president that said he can't be trusted, and he wants to talk to him about it. But then Billy's like, I'm at work, bro, but Xavier sees them. He sees him at his house. So he's like, okay, now you're lying to me. Like, this is, making it more believable that you can't be trusted. And so he goes to work to find files on him because he doesn't really know anything about him. Mm-hmm. And so he looks and sees all the stuff about the mercenary and the going to jail for murder and all that stuff. So he sees all this stuff. And Jane, who is Billy's girlfriend, comes in and sees that he's looking at files, and they have a conversation and stuff, and then she leaves to go to the carnival, and you see Robinson, who is the black lady who is Collins's boss. Right. She sees him like leaving the file room, and she's like all upset and stuff. But so my third thing is, you snitch. I'm assuming. Okay, so why are you going to town? All he is looking at files. Right. I don't get that part. Like, why are they putting them against? Well, we already talked about them putting them against each other and stuff. And she looks like the antagonist or something. Right. Like, she's trying to impress the Sinatra woman, and she goes and throws him under the bus. Right. At least I'm assuming that she went and told, because then she goes and gets Billy at the carnival. Like, she's, Sinatra is upset with Xavier. You don't want her
He's on her bad side now, and that's not a place you want to be.
Yeah, that's not a place you want to be.
Hilarious, because you put him there. Yeah. If you wouldn't have said anything to her, she wouldn't have known.
Yeah. So what are you doing, lady? He's just looking at files. And how do you know what file he looked at? Right. It just looked like a regular file. Right. Cabinet. Like, how he didn't have to sign it out.
Yeah. So. And you are like looking through a window or something like that. How could you know what file he had? Yeah. I don't know. That was weird.
Weird. It was strange. So I didn't like that. I'm like, oh, lady, why do I have to not like you?
Right. Hopefully she's redeemed.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that stood out for me, I don't even know how many this is that Earth is not destroyed.
Yeah.
Earth is not destroyed.
Yeah.
It is not in a good spot.
Absolutely.
It looks terrible. However, the scientist lady said, like, no, it's not what they're telling us. Like, it's safe up here. You can breathe the air. And then we find out that Billy kills her.
Yeah.
And that he was sent to do so.
Yeah.
By Sinatra.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So she is trying to cover up the fact that, like, y'all could go back.
Right.
And who knows what it's going to be like to live there. She said, like, it's not going to be great.
Yeah.
But it's not what they think it is.
Right.
They think everyone is dead. Yeah. Everyone is dead. Yeah. Everyone is not dead.
Right.
Clearly. Or, I mean, maybe not clearly, because we don't see other people, like, walking around going to the store. Yeah. But, like, it's possible that they survived this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That, so maybe this is, like, I don't know how many I have either.
Yeah.
I'm, like, on the fourth one. Because, like, this was, like... People in power will do what they need to do to keep people compliant, subservient. They don't want to give, like, anyone they don't want to give people power, because if these people know that there's potentially life out there, they're going to say, I want to go and find my family.
Right. Oh, like, my gosh.
I want to see if my family is out there.
Right.
And that takes away all of her power.
Right.
And then, but then also, on the other hand, I understand that she doesn't want people, like, you don't know what type of mental state people are in. Like, there could be thousands and thousands of people that know that are out there. Then they find out that there's this bunker, and now they're getting overrun with people, like, trying to come in. But, like, she's gone to such extremes to do this. Like, she sent Billy out there to kill these people that were on this mission, that they set up the mission.
Right.
They set up the mission to give people hope and to pacify the people, and then kill them to say, well, we told you these people obviously died out there because it's not inhabitable.
Right. And I think initially, I don't think that they were trying to give people hope. Oh. I think that they were trying to like, put a pin in it.
Guys,
it's over. There's nothing out here. And it just so happens that it's actually not over. And these scientists, whoever went to do on this mission, are like reporting back like, hey, it's cool. Like, it's not great, but like, you can breathe the air, you can walk around, whatever.
Yeah.
And of course, the response to that is like, shut them up.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want all of these people that are living down here trying to go back. Because if it was me, I would be like, no, my husband might still be alive up there.
Right.
Yes, I'm going.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So it wasn't hope. Because Cal was like, people are still not satisfied. We've been down here 6 months. And what is the problem? And he's like, well, maybe there's a what if.
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know
what happened.
So they commissioned this mission.
Yeah. And I think that Cal was doing it from a good place.
Yes.
I think that he was like, that's a really good point. Maybe not something that he had to consider because he's the president. His family is there with him, like whatever. But yeah, that's a really good point. So we need to like let everyone know, because he said something about like it'll be a hard truth or whatever, like hard pill to swallow that your family is actually gone. But I think knowing is better than not knowing. And so that's why we're going to do this mission. And so I think that he did it from a sincere, genuine place. And I don't know, is that what got him killed? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
It was crazy. And like, he didn't just kill that, like there was 4 of them. 4 scientists, he killed them all. Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And now he's upset. Well, he goes to Sinatra to like, oh yeah, because Xavier, it confronts him like, what the heck, bro? Yeah. Like, there's all this stuff in your file. You didn't tell me that I reached out to you. You told me you were at work, but you weren't. The president said, you're not to be trusted. So did you kill him? And so Billy's very upset because this is family and he loves him and the kids and stuff like that. So he doesn't like being under suspicion that way. Right. So he goes to confront Sinatra and says like, if you mess with my family, I'm coming after you, basically. A mess.
Which is insanity. Because why? If you feel this way, fine. Also, I hate when people are like, we have something really important to discuss. Let's discuss it tomorrow. No, you don't know what's going to happen today. So let's discuss it right now. I was like, oh no. No, something's bad's about to happen. As soon as he was like, I just want one more night of being like Uncle Billy or whatever he said. I'm like, that's probably gonna be your last night.
Yeah, which was freaking annoying. So that was the thing that I said what didn't work for me. Yeah. Is that, and I guess I'll say this, maybe it's just a general comment for many thriller movies, books, things like that. It's like, what are you when you say, I'm going to tell you this, but I need to tell you tomorrow. I'm either expecting you to get sniped right there. Right. You're not going to finish the sentence.
He was going to get shot in the head.
Yeah.
For sure.
I thought he was just going to get sniped right there in mid-sentence. Or you're not going to make it to the morning. Right. It's such a horrible... I mean, I think it's so silly to write this into movies and in books and stuff anymore. And there has to be a way for you to... Yeah. There has to be a way for you to get the suspense or... some other way to do it, because it's played out. You're playing your cards now. So anytime, like any surprise from a killer is no longer there, because that every person that he comes in contact, oh, he's about to kill him, she's about to kill him. He's like, because you know it's coming.
Because you know it's coming.
Yeah. So that was so annoying to me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So things that didn't work, that for sure. Also, him just going straight to Sinatra, bro. Yeah. If you know, like, you can trust Xavier, and you know that this person is the most powerful person in the room, in the community, wherever you guys are, She is the most powerful. Why on earth would you go to her and say any of the things that you went to her and said?
Yeah.
Like, Xavier, we need to talk about this lady and what's going on, and you just discuss it right then and there. And then you guys make a plan together. Because going in, guns a-blazing, by yourself, for what? It doesn't make any sense. I was like, I don't understand why these kinds of things keep happening. In shows. Like, we talked about this in Cross also. Like, why are you going directly to the person to be like, I know that you are the killer. Or like, you are doing this bad thing and you better stop or I'm going to take you down. Why would you be doing that? That doesn't make any sense. Because now the most powerful person now has time to plan and strategize to neutralize you.
Oh my gosh.
Like, what on earth?
So silly to me.
I was like...
I'm like, you have to either just take her down right now.
Right.
Or shut up. Like, what the heck? Like, what are you going to do? Like, oh my gosh. It's in the biggest, baddest
you
person.
You think that she's gonna let you get close to her again, ever again after this? Like, if you survive the night, you think she's gonna allow you to be in a room with her by yourself where you could kill her? No.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Whatever you're planning is not gonna come to fruition.
I didn't care for Jane being the bad guy. I didn't.
This was something that stood out for me.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Oh, Miko?
Okay, you go ahead.
Okay. So, the thing that stood out for me was a contrast between her and Billy. So she says, like, oh, all of the love that my parents deprived me of growing up is really working out well for you, or something like that. He was in the same boat, and it seems like coming here to this underworld, or whatever we're calling this, to paradise, changed him in a positive way. Like, okay, this is my opportunity to start over. And maybe it wasn't a conscious thing. Maybe it was just like, I'm working with this guy and like he's actually talking to me, and now we're friends, I guess, and I know they're kids and whatever, and just like organically grew into this strong friendship. Maybe it wasn't like, I'm gonna start over down here, but kind of what I said in the beginning, like when I saw the scene with the dog, I was like, okay, either he is gonna be the bad guy and it's gonna be like, look at his upbringing, of course he's the bad guy, or he's gonna go the opposite direction because he's now found a family. And I feel like for Jane, we don't see anything about her, but maybe she had a similar upbringing. I get, like, if she's here to be a killer, then probably she had a similar upbringing as Billy did, but she's on the opposite side. She is like, well, yeah, of course she's a killer, she had a terrible upbringing. She's on that side, whereas Billy is like, you know what, this was my upbringing, but I'm in a good place now. I've like found friends, family, whatever, and like, so they're like, I don't know, mirror opposites of each other in a way. In a way, because obviously he came down here and he was like killing people and doing whatever the hell Sinatra told him to do at first. But
I didn't care for her being the killer. I just think it's so unbelievable. Because this girl, I mean, quite honestly, she looks like a child to me. Like, I mean, she's very like, what about this outfit and stuff, and you know, I just want to look cute.
It's the carnival.
Yeah, it's the carnival. I'm so excited, I can't sleep, and all this, like, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, she's like just eating her, like, I don't know, like a funnel cake or something, and letting this guy choke out on pills and stuff like that. I don't know. It just was unbelievable to me. But when he came into the house, I knew that she was it. Because I'm like, who else is gonna do it? Like, and then he's like, oh yeah, can I drink this? I'm like, she's poisoned. Because I'm like, I'm watching him talk, and then he starts coughing. I'm like, I know it, bro. Like, y'all shouldn't have said, let me tell you tomorrow. Like, I just thought it was unbelievable, and I don't like her as a villain.
She seems so aloof. And so like unprepared. Even from like episode 1. When she's like, oh yeah, like I'm filling in for so-and-so or whatever. Like all of the conversations with her, she just seems like like doughy-eyed and like I don't know what's going on. I don't know how I got here. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a junior agent or whatever it is. But as soon as she said like all the years, all the love that my parents deprived me of, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? She's about to kill him. That line is what made me think like, oh, she's like the opposite of him. Okay. He found family and he's good and whatever. And she is not.
Yeah, I mean, and so, and I guess on the other hand, maybe that's why they're like, oh, no one would suspect her. Because she's walking around, what's happening? Tell me what's happening. On the first episode, tell me what's happening. What's going on? I'm like, if you don't shut up and go sit down, child,
please,
like,
little girl.
What the heck is going on? Like, shut up. So, I mean, I guess that's what makes her like a good, no one would suspect. So
literally no one would suspect that.
And then what didn't work is I'm just ticked off that they killed him.
I know.
Because you do, and then this kind of goes into what did work for me is they like give him this nice redemption story. You get emotionally involved and stuff. Like he was going to bat for Xavier and his kids. Like those are my family. And like, standing up to this very like scary woman. She can do all this. Like he's like, I don't care.
Gosh. Yes.
Like you're not going to come after my family. And so that was like, very endearing us to him. And then in the same episode you off him.
Right.
That's annoying.
Yeah, I knew that she was going to have him killed when he said, I don't give a fuck about your son.
Yes! You saw her face?
Yeah, her face changed. I was like, oh.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, like the other stuff, maybe she would have been like, okay, like calm down, whatever. But I think when he said that, she was like, you gotta go. You got to go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But it's also curious, like, the thing that he came in there to say was to leave Xavier and his family alone. Yeah. And so to have him killed over that. Yeah. Why? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to set him up to be the person that killed the president? It seemed, from the trailer, it seemed like this is what the whole show was going to be about. Yeah. They think that he did this thing, he didn't do it, and like... they're pursuing it anyway or something. Yeah. Or not pursuing it anyway, but they're like, they think that he did because he's the last one there. And there hasn't been anything about like, oh, we're getting closer to figure out who did this thing. Yeah. It's just like, that's a thing that happened. Yeah. And now the focus is on figuring out what the heck is going on from like Xavier's point of view. Yeah. But then... I don't know. Yeah, I know. So that was another thing that kind of didn't make sense because it seemed like Xavier's been cleared. Right. And so why is he in her crosshairs? Because he looked at a file? Right. It wasn't like he looked at her file. And a file that's in a freaking filing room. Right. It's not locked, obviously. Yeah. So, what worked for you? What worked for me? Oh my gosh, like, I think Billy's relationship with the Collinses worked for me so well, and I think that he is, I don't know, I mean, okay, he's like a killer, a mercenary, whatever. He's never had to probably be in a space where he, acts professional. Right. He's like a killer. Oh, yeah, like he like does whatever, and then like when there's a time to go kill someone, that's what he does. Yeah. And so I feel like him being in the Secret Service is hilarious. Yeah. Because he is like, the president's like, hey, what do you think about this? And he's like, that's bullshit or something. I don't know, whatever he said. And Xavier's in the background like, pace, bro. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Like, you can't say that. Yeah. And so I think that dynamic works really well. He's great with Xavier. He's great with the kids. We don't see him interact that much with James. Right. But we see him like counseling what's her name? Presley. We see her coming to him for advice about this boy that she likes, who is, the president's son or whatever. And he's like, yeah, just shoot your shot. Just tell him that you like him. Like, it'll be fine. The worst that can happen is that he doesn't like you back. And like, it'll be fine. Yeah. So, like, do that thing. There was a time when I was afraid to say something and whatever. Yeah. And, like, so I love the dynamic with the family. I feel like that works so well. Yeah, absolutely. It was great. You see how he and
and Xavier balance each other out.
Oh yeah.
You know, like when they first came down to Paradise, they're securing the area because the president might want to go to the bar after his speech, and the bar owner, or the mixologist, he said, he's like offering them like the best alcohol because they have all the best stuff down there. And he's like, well, we're on duty, and Billy Pinks is like, I'll take some. Right. He like had 3 shots. Yeah, he had like 3 shots or whatever with the guy and stuff like that. And so his the fact that he's not professional, it like brings a nice a breath of fresh air to the show. And that balance, you know, with Xavier and stuff like that. And the president appreciated. He's like, hey, new scary guy. What do you think about this? And I'm like, oh yeah, that kind of does go to the character that they've kind of built, that he is like a scary mercenary guy. What is your rating?
A 5 for shock value. I did not at all think that it was gonna be the way that it ended. Like, I didn't, from at the start of the episode, in my wildest dreams, I would not have imagined that he was gonna get killed at the end of this episode. So I think 5 for shock value, 5 for storyline. I really hate throwback episodes. Not throwback, but like when they do like the flashback of like, this is how this person came to be. I hate those. I feel like it takes away from the actual show. Sometimes, not always. Sometimes it does for me, and I find it annoying. I'm like, why do we have to go back 800 years in time and learn about this person? Like, just tell us. Like, because someone can say, like, oh yeah, you know, Billy had a terrible childhood and he ended up being a mercenary. Like, someone could make that comment, which would take 5 seconds. And then we would know the same information that we know from the flashback. But I think that really worked for this episode. Overall, maybe a 4.5.
Okay.
I don't know. What about you?
I was leaning towards around a 4.5 or a 5, just because it was like a really good storyline. I like how they built up how Billy was before versus his life now. And I hear you on the flashbacks, but I like these flashbacks.
I think these are
it's like it's more impactful when you see the stuff versus just hear it. Like, oh, he was a mercenary versus seeing that he like beat that guy up or whatever. So I thought it was great. And then building up their his relationship with Xavier and the kids. And I would deduct to have a point because they killed him. Because it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. So, because I want to see more of him. And I'm sure they will through flashbacks. It feels like they're doing flashbacks in every episode. So I'd say 4.5, 5.
I think it was great overall. I like deducting half a point for killing him. Because like, what are you guys doing? Awesome. What do you think is gonna happen in episode 5?
So I didn't even look and see what the name of the episode is, but I'm really curious as to see how Xavier and the kids take that Billy is gone.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like hoping that for some reason someone needs to go to his house and like pick something up and they see him laying there or something and they're able to like pump his stomach or something. I don't know. Like, please, like, bring the guy back to life or something. I don't know. So I don't know. I really have no clue.
Did you watch the like flash forward? Not flash forward, but like the preview?
No.
For 5?
No, did you?
Yes.
Of course you did.
Okay. It was like just a couple seconds. But I also, when he was killed, one of my first thoughts was like, is this gonna send Xavier over the edge? He's lost his wife. Lost the president, even though he and the president were not like great friends. He knows that obviously he was bludgeoned to death, so it's not like it was a natural cause or something. Like, he knows that someone did it. But like, now losing Billy, who was the only other person there besides, I mean, he was the only other person that he was close to there.
Right. Yeah.
Now he's gone. I wonder how that's going to affect him.
Yeah.
And the kids, like you said. And the dynamic moving forward. Yeah. What we see from the preview is like him and Robinson talking, Xavier and Robinson, and she says like, all right, what are we gonna do to bring her down? Or we gotta bring her down or something.
Okay.
So I think it sounds like they're gonna be like working together.
Yeah.
But it's like, is that genuine?
Right.
Because if you're the person that went to Sinatra and said like, oh my gosh, he's like looking at files, obviously Xavier doesn't know that.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, can you actually be trusted? Like, it would be great if you guys work together.
Yeah.
Because we need to work together.
Yeah.
But like, is this person trustworthy? I don't know.
And maybe Robinson didn't tell, maybe because Jane came in to the file room.
Oh, that's true.
And she's actually working for the woman. So it could be either one, and maybe she told her, and then Sinatra went to Robinson and said, hey, I gotta talk to, Billy or whatever.
Yeah.
So
and that's a good point, because out of the two of them, Jane and Robinson, if anyone would have had any idea what file he was looking at, it would definitely be Jane, because she was at least in the room with him.
Yeah.
So maybe she could like see the name on it or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. And then when they were talking in the room, Xavier said, so Jane, you're really close with Billy, and as he been acting weird and all this other stuff. So it was probably Jane.
It probably was Jane.
I have to take back my commentary on Robinson, but I was like, she's a freaking snitch, bro. Like, what's going on? Like, okay.
What a snitch.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Okay, so those are my thoughts.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's it. Okay. Well, thank you all for hanging with us for this review and our thoughts.
Yeah. We'll be back next week.
Yes. All right. See ya.
Thanks.
Bye. Oh, like and subscribe.
Oh, yes.
Yes. See ya.